Hello and welcome back to Cricket Wings. This is the online space where we're all about creativity, whether that is making things with our hands, making music with our voices and our instruments, making poetry. We're all about getting the creativity from the inside to the outside. And today I want to show you a way of writing your own poem. Don't panic. I'm going to show you a way of writing something that has no pressure to it, is actually fun, and that might open up ways that you decide that you would like to write some poetry for yourself in the future. Now, I just want to say, I have not pre-written this poem, okay? I decided I'd quite like to write a poem about cricket wing, what it's all about, and I thought I could sit down and write it myself, or I could show you how I'm going to write it, okay? This is a method that I sometimes use for songwriting, but not always. So we're going to try it together, and I'm going to show you the things that you need. I'm sure you can adapt other things if you haven't got these. Okay, so firstly I have got 2 pieces of A4 paper. Now the reason I've got 2 is because I haven't got any A3 paper and I want to work big. So I'm just going to stick 2 pieces together to make a bigger bit of paper. Okay. So one A3-ish piece of paper, and I have got a coloured piece of paper. You don't have to have a separate coloured piece of paper. It's helpful to have another piece of paper. The only reason I've chosen a coloured piece is so that it shows up better on the video when we get to that point. So when you're going to write a poem or write about anything in particular, first you need your subject. You need to decide what it is that you want to write about. Unless you're writing a nonsense poem, there are lots of nonsense poems that are great fun. Go out and find some. You've got people like Spike Milligan, Roald Dahl, Edward Lear, who writes loads of nonsense poems. Go and be inspired by them, and you probably don't even need to write your theme or what you're intending to write about if it's going to be a nonsense poem. But we're going to write about something specific. I'm going to write about cricket wings, but that probably won't inspire you particularly. Some ideas of poems that you may choose to write. A poem about something that is your favourite thing. Not singing the song. Think about what it is that you love to do. Why do you love to do it? Place it in a circle in the middle of your page. If you don't want to write about your favourite thing, think about maybe one of your favourite people. Don't tell them that they're your favourite, because that could get you into trouble. Maybe even write about your favourite animal if you're not inspired to write about anything else. So you're going to write that in the middle of your big piece of paper. Or if you only have a small piece, write small. Okay? Then we're going to divide this piece of paper into 4 separate spaces. Now you can either divide diagonally, so from the corner to your central circle, or you can divide as if you're making the English flag. I think probably that would give you a bit more space. So one big cross around the middle of the page. So you've got your piece of paper divided. I've got cricket wings written in the centre. You will have an animal or a thing or a hobby or a person. Okay. In one of these sections, you're going to label it as close to the circle as you can, about. Okay. This is the section for you to write all of the things about that particular person, animal, object, hobby. Every kind of noun that pops into your head, so the naming of the thing, stick to the factual things about here. Because in the next one, you're going to write either adjective or describing words. Now these are the words that, if you were playing that game where you couldn't name a thing, but you could only describe it, these are all the words that you would be using. Is it fluffy? Is it shiny? Is it iridescent? Is it green? Is it blue? So all of the ways that you would describe this thing. Okay? In the next one, you're going to write feelings. Okay? This is how this object, this person, this thing makes you feel. The sparks that they bring up in you. okay? And then in the very last one, you're going to write anything else, okay? Now, your brain is going to give you lots of words, it's going to give you images. Those words and images might not fit into the about, the adjectives, or the feelings section, but if your brain's brought them up, they're completely valid. So place them in the other section, okay? So you're going to spend some time getting everything that's coming into your brain onto this piece of paper. Now, on another video, I will show you about spider diagrams and what I use those for. We're not doing a spider diagram here. We are just going to have lots of words floating in the different boxes, and there's a reason for that. We're not connecting the words at this point. So, once you've got your piece of paper and you've divided it into those 4 sections, let's get all of that information out there. So I will be back with you very shortly. Okay, so I've got various words written about cricket wings. Yours will be about whatever subject you've chosen. And I've got them floating on my piece of paper. I've tried to keep some space around them. Now, if you are struggling to come up with lots of words, put the words that come to mind and then also write down the opposite of that word. So if you've written light, then write down dark as well. Because when we're describing things, sometimes we can describe things by the absence of what they're not, okay? So, if she's blonde, she's not dark, if you want to put it that way. So what we're going to do is, now that we've got lots of words, and you're not limited to these words in any way, we're going to cut each of these words out, so that we just have a stack of words not attached to anything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. My original piece of paper with all of those words on is now cut up into lots of little pieces so that I have loads of orphan words, if you want to call them that, words that are not attached to anything in particular. I will read you a selection. So we've got shiny, cricket, inspired, fun, wings, chirp, legs, inspiration, sing, moonlight, night, create, jump, leap, poem, learn, eyes, grass. So there's loads of words there. They're just words that came out of my brain onto the piece of paper, and now I've got them available to me. There's no rules here. You do not have to use all of these words. Equally, if another word pops into your head that you like, use that word, and you can add as many words as you want to interlink your words to then make your poem. Okay? So I'm just going to move these to one side because I'm going to use another piece of paper. I'm not going to stick anything down to begin with. I'm going to pick out my favourite words, the ones that make me go, yeah, that really does make me think of the subject of my poem. So I've got grass, I've got its name, cricket. I'm going to use the word inspiration because I'm not writing a poem just about cricket wings. I'm writing a poem that links why I've used the words cricket wings with this channel, this online creative space that I'm making. So I want my poem to link those two things together. Your poem is for whatever purpose. It could just be for the fun of writing the poem. It might be that somebody's birthday is coming up and you want to write them a poem as their gift. Up to you. I want to pick out the words that complete the purpose of my poem. Sing. Now, one of the reasons that I chose cricket wings as the title of this space is because crickets can actually fly. We very rarely see them fly, and they don't fly very often. They will often run or jump away. But they have wings, and what they most use their wings for is to sing. I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a crafter. And I wanted to explore the idea that given the choice between flying and singing, the cricket chose to sing. So I'm including singing in my poem. I'm going to choose a few others, but you're not stuck to the ones you choose at this point. Like I say, there's no rules to this. We're just writing a poem. Okay. So then start to rearrange your words. See what sounds nice together. See what looks nice together. Instinctively, you will be drawn to certain words and putting them together. So follow that intuition and have some fun with it. Yeah, no glue has been involved yet, so you can do what you choose. Okay, I have an idea of what I want my poem to be. I've laid out my words, and in my mind I've added other words to that. Now what I would suggest is, if you can keep them in your mind, do, but there's nothing to stop you scribbling things down on scraps of paper as you go. Play with it in your mind. Play with it out loud if that feels more comfortable to you. I'm now going to start scribbling on here, do a bit of sticking, put the poem together. Now I've roughly made mine rhyme. There's no real reason for that. You do not have to have a poem that rhymes. I'm a songwriter, so my songs tend to rhyme. My poems don't tend to, in fact. My poems are usually free-form writing, but in this instance, I guess I've created a sort of lyric. So check back with me in a minute, have a play with yours, and we'll see where we get to. So, I have used some of the words on here. I have also changed some of the words on here by chopping off the ends of them. For example, I think I wrote inspired, and I've changed it to inspire by chopping off that D. There are no rules to this. You can change the words as much as you want. You can use all of them or none of them, but that gets you to this point, okay? So what I've done is I have laid out my words and I've filled in extra words in between them to make it work in verse. I have rhymed it. You don't have to. Some people love to rhyme. Other people, they either don't get it or it doesn't really appeal to them in quite the same way. A poem does not have to rhyme. It also doesn't have to make sense. It can be a nonsense poem, okay? But this is what I've come up with. You've seen me do it. I haven't pre-written this poem, but I do write a lot, so that's why it rhymes, okay? So I have written, little cricket dancing in the moonlight, you have such happy wings. Chirping bright all through the night, you inspire me to sing. String your notes together, deep within the grass, singing out forever, make a song that lasts. So that is my Cricket Wings poem. I will include it on the website. You don't need any templates for this one, so there won't be any for you to download. Just have some fun writing your own poem. If you've never written poetry before, or you're scared to write poetry because you've had some bad experiences of it before, hopefully this shows you that writing poetry can be simple, it can be fun, and you can end up with something that you really like. So have a go at some poetry. Do send me anything that you would like to share, and come and see me at Cricket Wings, either on social media or at www.cricketwings.co.uk. Enjoy your poetry.